This morning we're going to talk a little bit about teachings of Swami Vishnudevananda. And none of us really knew Swami Vishnudevananda personally. We all joined the organization after Swami Vishnudevananda left his body. But one thing that we read about and we heard is that many times that when Swami Vishnudevananda would give a morning satsang, he would sit, and after the Jai Ganesha and after the Om Sahana Vavatu, he would many times would ask the people present in the satsang, what day is it today? And people would say, Wednesday? Saturday? You know, in the ashram, you lose track of time, like days, everything blends into one continuous present. And so Vishnu would, and one person would say the 26th of February. Swami Vishnu would laugh and say, it is one day closer to death. One day closer to death. And yesterday, we were all present in the beautiful Q&A session with Swami Supananda, and one of the questions was about free will. Do we have free will? If we look at it, we will see that, you know, as Swami Supananda said, we have the experience that we can choose. But even if we feel that we have the freedom to choose, it is a freedom to choose within limits. Even if we say that there is free will, it's not absolutely free. It is free within limits. It's like you can choose between broccoli and carrots. There's no other choice, okay? It's like you have a certain menu and this is what you can choose from. You have the freedom to choose whatever you want from the menu, but this is the menu. So, like, if we have a mango tree, the mango tree doesn't have, sometimes we say the tree grows and the tree bears fruits, as if he has a choice to bear mango fruits. It's not his choice, it is its nature. And it is the nature which is compelled on it. And it just exhibits it. Even if I would like to bear mango fruits, I really like mangoes. I really like mango. But if I'll say, you know what, I don't want to be dependent on the tree. I want to bear fruits, mangoes. You know, this is something that, you know, maybe AI will be able to solve my problem. Because whatever I will try to do, I cannot bear mango fruits. Although, you know, I'm a much more evolved being than a tree, still, this is something that I cannot choose to do. And Swami Vishnu is telling us, you know, no matter what is it that you think that you can do or choose, you are progressing. You know, you are not choosing to grow. Just like the tree does not choose to grow, it just grows. Also we were not choosing to grow the baby body with which we came to this world. We didn't choose to grow it into a toddler body, into a young man's body, into a mature person body, into a older person body, into a decaying body, into a dead body. We are not choosing it. We are just being, you know, on, how do you call those? It's not an escalator. Sometimes it's escalates, sometimes it's coming down. But something like this. I don't know what's the word. I didn't get it. Anyway, you understand what I'm saying. You know, it's like sometimes you walk, like when you're going in the airport, you are walking, and then you are just walking on this belt, and it just takes you. So we are just being carried by it. And during this movement, we can feel the experiences as, arbitrary experiences, or maybe experiences that I choose to have, and I, like the desires, and I desire some experiences, and I go here and there in order to attain my desires. And as we heard Swami Supananda, and Swami Supananda is just quoting the scriptures, saying, even if you have the desires, and even if you will put all your efforts towards attaining the desires, how many of your desires can you really attain? Can you really fulfill? So then comes a point where we realize that no matter how many desires we have and how many experiences we want to attain and obtain and retain, it's not really in our hands. Like it's something bigger that operates there. Either it's just by chance or it is by design. And as we heard Swami Supananda say, maybe you don't believe that it is by design. Maybe you just think that it is by chance. But whether you believe that it is by design or whether you believe that it is by chance, it becomes more and more evident as we are moving on this, belt, carrying us, that it's going to end. That, this lifetime has an end. Now, it seems sometimes that it is going to end somewhere in the far future, but then when we look around, we see that, there are people who woke up this morning or woke up yesterday's morning believing that, yes, there is long time, and, there are many things to do and many desires to achieve and to fulfill, but then, just like this, it ended. So then we realize that it's going to end also for this, and it's not really for sure that when it will be. And then we can say, okay, just let me live my life, and when the time comes, let the time come. But the yogis are telling us that because it is not the end, it is a continuum. It is a continuum. In one lifetime or the other, while living, while being in the body, we realize the continuum. When we leave the body, it's obvious. But when we are in the body, it's definitely not. There is this joke about twins in the womb. And one of the twins asking the other, tell me, do you believe in life after birth? And the other one said, I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I don't know. To tell you the truth, nobody came back to tell. So, is there life after birth? Is there life after death? Well, the yogis are telling us that in one lifetime or the other, we will realize while in the body, while in this experience created by the hardware of the body, by the mind that was conferred on us, that there is something beyond it. And the actions and the choices that I'm doing here, that I'm performing here, in fact, are not for the sake of the here, but the sake of the after. What I'm doing right now does not just affect what I create for myself as an experience right now, because at the moment of death, what can I carry with me? There was a beautiful story that we read many years back in the center in Israel. It was about a very wealthy person, and he had a big family, very loving family, very functional, loving family. And one day he realized that he got cancer. And, everybody was recruited to help and to, get him the best physician and best treatment and everything. But it got worse and worse. And then he realized that his end is near. So he wrote a will. And he told his children that there are two parts of the will. One of it, they must read it, the first part, they must read it before the funeral. And the second part, after like a week or something after the funeral. So the situation got really, really worse, and at a certain moment, he died. And the children opened the will, the first part, and it was said, how to distribute all his wealth and all his asset. But there was one request. He said, for my sake, please, I beg you, make sure that I am buried with my favorite socks. This was his request. Please, please make sure that I am buried with my favorite socks. Okay, no problem. So, they started arranging for the funeral and everything. And they came to to those people who take care of the burial and everything. And they said, these are the socks of our father. This was his last request. Please make sure that the socks are on when he's buried. But according to the tradition and the dharma, the body has to be buried totally naked. Wrapped, but totally naked. And the people said, no, cannot do. And they say, what do you mean cannot do? This was his last request. He really asked to be buried with his socks. It's nothing. Just put the socks on his feet. And the people said, no, cannot do. It's totally adharmic. It's totally cannot do. So the funeral happened, and the children were heartbroken. They cried and they said, oh my God, our father gave us everything. He loved us, and we could not even fulfill his small request, what he asked for, to be buried with his socks. The whole week afterwards, they couldn't sleep, they couldn't eat, they couldn't believe that their beloved father could not have such a small request be fulfilled. Then there was the end of the week, certain ceremonies, certain prayers were done, and then they opened the second part of the will. And the father wrote to them, I know that you are probably devastated because you couldn't fulfill my request. And it was on purpose. I knew that you will not be able. But I just wanted you to see that when you leave this world, you could not even take socks, a pair of socks from this world. You come naked, you will go naked. Whatever you accumulated, whatever you achieved, whatever you got, whatever you possessed, you will come out with nothing of these outer physical material things. Don't invest in them. Nothing of them will be able to be taken by you. Invest by these which will be carried with you. Because you don't belong to this world, and this world does not belong to you. While you are in this world, realize to who and where you belong and invest in this. Om Tat Sat.